All right, in this video, I'm going to teach you how to grow garlic or garlic scallions in a cloth bag. That's the project we are going to cover together right now. Sound fun? Sound fragrant? It will be. All right, so these are the few things that you're going to need for this project. First, you need a grow bag. So this is a fabric grow bag that we're going to use to grow our garlic and our garlic scallions. Then, of course, we have our soil blend that's going to go straight into the bag. A little shovel to do our soil moving. I do have a hori-hori here to help us break open the garlic. And also a dipper. So this dipper is going to help us get the garlic to the right depth. And then I also have some local garlic. So I have purchased this garlic from the farmer's market in my own town, and I highly recommend, if you haven't, you can definitely order garlic from growers and seed suppliers, but it's also great to get garlic right from your own hometown. Generally, this is going to be garlic that's well adapted to grow in your own climate and right where you are. And the cool thing is it literally came from where you are. So I love heading to the farmer's market. We have a garlic grower that has his own little tent there. So I get planting tips from him. I ask him when he's planting, how his harvest is going, all kinds of tips and tricks. And then I buy directly from him, bring his garlic home and plant it. So definitely you can order it from an organic company, but it's great to support local. And also I think you're just gonna probably even have more success when you do that. So what you wanna do first is just take your entire, let's just clarify a couple of things. First, this is a garlic bulb, and we're gonna be dividing it into cloves, right? So we're gonna have outer cloves and inner cloves with this garlic bulb. So you want to make sure that the garlic is completely dried and cured and basically ready for the next season. So you can break this open indoors with a knife. What I try to do with the hori-hori is just go to each section of the large cloves. I don't know why, but I have this thing where with garlic, I get confused with the words clove and bulb. That's why I had to set that out to begin with you. Okay, so I just try, without breaking the cloves, I try to start to open it up. So what you're gonna do is take each of these cloves apart. That's what we're doing. So I like to make sure that I separate the outer ones from the inner ones. So I'm keeping the skin on here, on each of them. We're not trying to peel them. That one did accidentally get peeled, but I have the whole clove there. So I'm gonna just place the outside ones as their whole piece over here in a pile. Maybe can you see these better here? So I've got my largest one. So one thing to remember is the outer cloves are going to be best for growing an entire bulb of garlic. So in your salad garden, if you want to have your garlic interplanted with your salad plants, you can do that. Or if you want to be growing garlic just on its own, the outer bulbs are going to be the ones that will be best for growing the entire, see I did it again, the outer cloves will be best for growing an entire bulb. So I've got my largest bulbs here, cloves. Guys, you're going to kill me by the end of this video, I know, sorry. All right, so there's my large cloves, and then I do have a few small inner cloves. So inner cloves are great for growing scallions. So as you grow your salad garden, it's really fun to have fresh scallions to put on them. And there's less pressure when you're growing for scallions because you're not relying on these to turn all the way into a big full bulb. Because the process for growing garlic, if you don't know, is you plant this one clove, and then over a 6 to 9 month period, the entire new bulb forms around it. Is that so cool? So that's what's gonna happen with these larger cloves, but with the smaller cloves, I like to just stick them in the soil and let them grow greens for me. I cut the greens again and again, use them in salads and as toppings, and I'm really not putting pressure on this clove to turn into a really large bulb. So we're gonna do both in this container. We're gonna plant the larger cloves on the outer ring of the planter, and then we're gonna plant the smaller ones closer together in the center to produce scallions for us. So now that we've clean this area out. We've got our smaller ones here. I'm going to take my dibber and start working on the larger cloves first. So I'm going to take the dibber and I'm kind of marking. Some dibbers have marks to show you how deep. And generally you want to plant a garlic clove about 3 to 4 inches down. So I've kind of marked my space here, and then I'm going to take my one of my largest cloves, and what you do is you check out and make sure you know, so this was the base where the roots were forming. That's going to go below the ground, and then this is what we call the tip. So you can see the tip, it has a little curve to it, and that's where the first green is going to shoot up. So you want to make sure the tip is up, and you just slide it down into the hole. Now, as you remember, I don't cover anything up until I'm completely done, so that I can make sure that I don't double plant or over plant. And I remember now, this is a huge, huge clove, so I'm gonna make sure I give this plenty of space. So I'm gonna go to another part of my grow bag, make a nice dibber hole, push down and plant that one there. All right, got another big one. I am gonna take this part of the skin off because that is just gonna decompose. So it's not really protecting the clove at all. It's gonna decompose over time. So I'm gonna come again, giving some even distribution here with my cloves, hoping they're all far enough apart so that they have space and room to grow into a full bulb. There's me with that word again. So again, I'm going to pull back this papery thin skin. And again, I think I have room to do 5 of these. I had 5 big cloves. So I'm going to try to fit all 5 in here. If you follow the general spacing for garlic, they're going to tell you to go, you know, maybe 4 per square foot. So I am pushing it a little bit here, but you know, I like to push the limits. All right, this is the 5th and final big clove that we're going to be growing for a bulb. So again, I'm going to stick this here with my dibber. And one good thing to do is imagine the full bulb, right? So we can even take another one and test out to be sure, oops, that each of them has space to become this. So I can just put this over each one and kind of imagine, does it have space to become that big underground without touching the other one? All right, and I think it does. So now we're going to take our smaller cloves, and again, these are going to be grown for scallions. You're planting them in the same direction, so the root part is going to go down into the ground, and then the tip is going to stay up. The difference is these are going to be planted closer together because we are just growing these for the greens. So we're not expecting these to turn into big bulbs of garlic. We're just going to be growing these to get the greens off of them. And hopefully we'll get greens off of them pretty soon. So as long as the weather cooperates and it's not too cold, in general, you end up getting greens off of garlic pretty early. So when I was in a temperate climate in Houston, we would plant garlic in the fall and we would get greens all winter long from that garlic. Okay, so I think I have pretty much planted this up. I have 2 extra cloves left, but I'm just gonna save these behind because I think this is as full as I should make it. It's probably a little too full. So if you can see, I've got 5 large cloves on the outside. The plan is for those 5 cloves to become new bulbs of garlic. And then I've got 4 small little cloves. They were the interior cloves of the garlic here, and those are going to be grown for scallions. So I'll have a nice kind of things I can harvest early, and then things that are going to stay here for a longer period of time. Now that I've checked on my spacing and everything looks good, I can go ahead and fill up the rest of the holes and put some compost on top, and then I'll water these in. So these do need to be in a place where they have plenty of sunlight, and then if we're hitting a place, if you live in a place that gets really cold, frost, you know, things like that in the winter, then what you'd want to do is put a layer of protection on this, like some straw or even some heavy mulch. You're not going to keep the mulch on once we hit spring, but just something to protect the warmth and protect the bulbs throughout the winter. So that is it. So I've got all my garlic planted up now, and I can't wait to see what starts to pop out of the soil in the weeks and days to come. Pretty exciting, and you can use this method as you plant your bigger salad garden. You can do this just in a pot alone by itself, or you can interplant garlic with other salad plants. There's so many ways to bring it into your salad garden. Thanks so much for watching and joining me with this project. I cannot wait to see the scallions and garlic that you grow. I'll see you in the next lesson.